Hello, how are you? Today is another opportunity to be alive. So I was just thinking, and a lot of people ask me questions. It's like, oh, my job. They're always blaming something, and they usually blame their job, their wife, for their current situation. So I think people is suffering because like they identified with external things. Once you identify with external things, you lose power within because you're always surrendering or just putting all your power into external things. So they put their inside power into their job, into a persona, into material things. So some people think I'm their car, like so they start identifying with the type of car they have. They start identifying with the type of watch they have or like how they dress. They also start identifying where they live. Oh, I live in this location. So they give all their energy to this type of external things. So once you identify with these external things, you start to suffer, which is the first noble truth. Life is suffering. Once you cling or you attach to these external things, you start to suffer. So like it has happened to me over the years. Once I was in the military, they're like, okay, you're a soldier. So I was identifying with this persona of being a soldier. So I was just always, everything around my life had to be like according to soldier status. Like I'm this job, I'm explosive supply specialist. So I was just identifying with this title or with my rank. Oh, I'm a specialist in the US Army. So like once I got out of the military, then I didn't have that. And I think this happens to a lot of people when they transition to another identity. They start to suffer because now they're not what they used to be. The same thing when somebody break up into a relationship, they're used to identifying with this person. So once they have a breakup, they just feel depressed because they just lose their identity. So the same thing when I got out of the military, I was like, I'm not gonna say depressed, but I felt that I just like lost my identity. So I think that's why a lot of people is suffering nowadays, because they identify with their position. They're identified with this persona that they have, which is not permanent. Like all these things can change. So if this can change, this is not you. So why you're identifying with these things? So the best way is just to identify with your soul. Identify with some type of character. For me, I love to identify as a curious person. Or at the end, I love to identify as a son of God, because then you start seeing everybody as son of God. And then you start seeing that people is having this trouble, they're having this problem that everybody has. They're dealing with their ego, they're suffering in their mind because they have this mask and they need to have this mask in order to operate in the real world. So once you have a mask, you surrender all your real energy, which is like your soul, which is your mind. So stop identifying with this persona or with this mask, with external things. Bring your power back to you. Once you bring your power back to you, you're gonna feel happier because you're gonna feel whole, because you're not like depending on this persona or these external things. So next time you're saying, oh, I am executive of this company, don't say that. Like when somebody asks you, like, what do you do, who you are? Just say, I'm a human being. I'm a son of God. I'm a curious person. That's what I usually said when people ask me, what do you do? What's your job? Or like, what do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? I'm a human being. That's what I do for a living. I breathe. Now you wanna know how I make money? That's like a different question. But like people is identifying with these external things. So yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about identity and why some people, I think, they're suffering because they're attaching their value, they're attaching who they are to external things. So these things are always changing. So that's why you suffer. Like then these things change and then you're lost, you're empty. You're like, what do I do now? Like this is who I was. So the more you identify with yourself as a soul, as a human being, as a person, as a curious person, as a kind person, the deeper you go, the bigger of a person you are, and then you don't have to depend on all these external things just to feel happy, just to feel whole. So I hope this helps. If you think this can help your friends, your family, go ahead and share the video and go ahead and subscribe. See you in the next one.